that our body's ability to heal and repair itself is greatly affected by our beliefs, thoughts, emotions, and intentions. They have a profound vibrational effect upon our continually evolving genetic code. We're the programmers of the code. DNA activation is our software upgrade. So, I mean, I know people are familiar with the Hawkins scale, and I'm sorry there's no visuals. I know it's not as easy to follow, but I mean, maybe it's not too late. I just needed to kind of get through some of the slides because it was a little shorter in my 1 o'clock than this one, or that I thought it was an hour. So anyway, the lower vibratory energy is connected to the Hawkins scale. As we know, like if people are familiar, shame is 20, guilt is 30, apathy 50, grief 75, fear 100, desire 125, anger 150, pride 175, courage 200, then neutrality 250. But is there anything wrong with dipping down into those lower energies? Imagine being sociopathic. Imagine not having feelings. Imagine not self-reflecting. So even if our vibration drops, I feel that's part of the human experience. We feel the contraction, we feel the discomfort, but we at least self-reflect. We at least self-correct. We can at least look at that and make amends, like calling our children or calling our partners or calling our parents or hoping they call us if, it's needed to work this stuff out, is to get it out of our system and not hold on to it, because yes, it'll sink our physical vibration. It makes us very vulnerable to things that want to hook in and cause us to want to disassociate or not feel when we really do need to feel it. Because if we feel shame or guilt or apathy or grief or fear or desire or anger or pride or courage, I mean, maybe some are a little bit more negative ego than really self-reflecting and really coming to terms with things. But I feel like that is the prerequisite to begin to raise that vibration, to begin to find neutrality. Because without being tested in a way that takes us out of neutrality, how are we going to get back to neutrality? I mean, I think eventually we're going to find a way to not dip down and just always be in that neutrality, but we deal with so many different life events. I think we should really cut ourselves some slack. People are leaving this physical plane. There's unresolved tensions between friends and family and partners at times. And, it's good to self-reflect and then work our way out of it and recognize, maybe these aren't the emotions and feelings we need to be carrying. Because if we go into neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, and peace and enlightenment, the expression and the words that we speak in order to resolve these things will raise the vibration back up. So I just think this is a part of the greater alchemy in the soul experience, is to dip down. And one of the quotes that I like from this book is, "There is no antidepressant that will cure a depression that is spiritually based, for the malaise doesn't originate from brain dysfunction, but from an accurate response to the desecration of life." So, I mean, that sounds like, well, is there anything that's going to cure that then? Well, I think it's an accurate response to the desecration of life. So we are the ones that are breathing life back into ourselves, back into the world, back into everything that we can possibly be a part of. And that is the true cure. That is in our hands. There's no antidepressant. There's no medicine. There might be herbs and sound healing and journeys and trips that you can take. But enough with thinking that something's wrong with us. There's something so wrong in the world that we need to get to the bottom of to begin to remember how to overcome this. Because really, people are merged through nanites in the air, food, and water, and a supercomputer system sends waves of desires out at just the right moment to influence the masses in coordination with the media, scalar, and weather events and natural biological cycles.
Who sends them out?
A supercomputer system. And everything is mapped out by an artificial intelligence system designed to resist against humanity becoming aware of their true power and the reality of the situation, including the threats and possibilities. Everything is a distraction or an artificially implanted impulse or desire. The entire civilization is under this net, and we have the power to overcome this. So artificial intelligence systems have been designed and weaponized, specialized for emotional and ultimately spiritual harassment. This is so that the emotional and spiritual energies get lowered to the level that a machine can entrain, follow, mimic, match, record, modify, and replicate that energetic blueprint. If our consciousness is above this and not in the programming, we aren't as impacted. So to me, the Great Awakening is really a deprogramming, because it's already in here. We're already encoded with it. It's just, what have we bought into? What have we forgotten? And that's where it's at. Then one of the most significant manipulations, that also is part of the planetary grid network, because the planetary grid network is connected with the platonic solids, is the reversal of the dodecahedron, which is the fifth element. So when we talk about the sun moving through the 13th sign of Theicus, we're talking about the return of the ether energy. And the way that it's been restored is through the Venus transits, which to me represents the unconditional love of the mother, who was not grounded into the physical planet because of all the cataclysms that have taken place, because of the exploded planets like Tiamat, because of the Achamoth being harnessed and used and reversed in Dark Mother reversals to be worshipped as a Baphomet, to be harnessed to birth archonic creations, for that womb to be used at a detriment to something that we all can feel. Now that that energy is returning, all these corrections are taking place. So the negative alien agenda and many of the Illuminati lines have misused these, and they appear as dodecahedron shapes. They are a part of the reversal matrix used by service to self entities. When we activate the alchemy, we heal our DNA, and the fifth element is integrated, and the reversals are corrected. This comes about through sacred union, which heals the grids as the activations coming in right now, and the stellar activation cycle, which is known as ascension, are healing us. So it's a co-creation and a relationship. The programmable alien AI has infected carbon material and is what has taken over the platonic solid dodecahedron and related pentagonal geometries that build time-space constructs. These time-space constructs are instruction sets in the morphogenetic field that run into the ley lines of the planetary body. This is how they have built artificial realities and false timelines and projected them into false holograms. So the inverted pentagram or five-pointed star, so prevalent in Satanism, is also symbolic of this unbroken time cycle, the vibrational prison. The fifth element connects to alchemy and our throat chakra and is the key to overcoming this. It comes down to the power of our words. So the thing is, we're either going to spew the viruses, the programs, and hold to them, and hold others to them, and feel encased in it. And if anybody thinks outside the box, as we know, being the out-of-boxers,
Yeah.
what does that do? It doesn't make a lot of people very happy. And to try and explain this, it's like, you can't really, but I mean, this is sort of the underlying themes that have been a part of this. So what is turning it up right again are the Venus transits. Astrologers and astronomers have noted that the Venus transits, and I'll just show you guys since, and I've shared this before, it draws a perfect pentagram in the sky. And so basically the Venus transits have been like the mother energy creating this correction so that she could come back into the physical planet and restore the ether elements. And with that circulation of energy, with that being the 13th gate, connected to the 13th gate in the 13th sign, it's brought in this incredible energy as of 2010. So when we look at the ascension window period, it's very interesting to note that the sun started to move through the 13th sign in 2010. The galactic cores of Milky Way and Andromeda became one with each other. The Venus transits had completed its cycles in 2012. So it's like, okay, these are all things that validate the term ascension. Because just saying that isn't enough. It's like, all right, what's behind this? Is there like proof? And what's so interesting is November 30th to December 17th of every year, this is when the ether energy is available. We're going from like Aries, right? Fire, to Taurus, earth, to Gemini, air, to Taurus. Wait, did I say Aries? Yeah, first, second, Taurus, third, Gemini, fourth, Cancer, right? So we're going fire, earth, air, water, right? And so we go through all the zodiacs, earth, air, fire, water. But there's 5 elements, there's ether. So here's a zodiac sign that actually is connected to the 5th element. It's all been earth, air, fire, water. Now the earth, air, fire, water, with the presence of the ether, is able to purify the earth, air, fire, water. The earth regenerates, the water is cleansed, the air is cleansed of our free, with our free thinking, so that the chemtrails and all the manipulations that are in the airwaves, in the supercomputer scalar events that are kind of targeting us, they're all getting cleared because the ether is a great purifier. So just breathing in that energy, which connects with the breath of life, look at how that was weaponized. Mask up, don't breathe. And they were coming up with a plot and a plan to keep us from being able to take those deep breaths, from being able to connect with each other, from being able to really, because they're like, oh God, that energy's returned. let's create a psyop to completely dismantle people's ability to get in touch with it by scaring everybody into taking that breath, because it's in the breath, it's in the ether. So that ether comes in and it begins to purify the nucleic acids of our DNA, and we all have our signs: earth, air, fire, water. Now that the sun moves through Ophiuchus, we get the transit, we get the progressions, and a lot of young people, are those born after 2010 are being born with the zodiac sign. They're going to help humanity, they're going to help one another, because this is the great purifier. It connects with creatrix connectivity, pure transparent crystalline light, divine mother, and the cleansing power of cosmic love, recoding the DNA, aligning to the cosmic heart of Lyra and Andromedan universal center, rebirthing, cleansing the blood, breath, and mitochondria. So we talk about cleansing the blood, and we're hearing about all these blood clots and all this stuff happening with people's blood. This is the great cleanser. And so Ophiuchus is ruled by Chiron. And why Chiron out of all planets would the Ophiuchus be connected with Chiron? It's an asteroid. Well, it's because if we don't get in touch with our wounds, if we're not transparent with our wounds, how is the ether really going to cleanse us? If we're in denial, if we're masking it, if we're drugging it. So Chiron, the wounded healer, is asking us to look at, where have you been wounded? The earth has been wounded. We're all going to heal this together. So getting more in touch with this Chiron, especially with Aries conjunct Chiron, we're really able to bring this in and say, all right, true creator source is unconditional love. And that purification and knowing that unconditional love is there, it exists within ourselves, this Chiron in Aries for this year ahead is going to be very much cleansed by this Ophiuchus energy.